So my name is Julia. I'm from Fregonese Associates. We are a private consulting company up in Portland, Oregon. And we do a lot of urban and regional planning. And today I want to talk about Infill. This is an analysis I did back in October within 2 hours. So it's very short. So what do I understand about Infill? How do I define it? Infill, as understood in this analysis, is the development of vacant land within an existing neighborhood. As you can see over there, that is in my neighborhood. Here's an old house, there was an empty lot, and they put in a new house. So everything is happening on vacant land. And I will tell you about an example from Dallas, Texas. Inspire Dallas is a new plan. It's a housing plan for Dallas, Texas, and they will promote healthy and sustainable neighborhoods throughout Dallas. And they need to address the type, cost, number, and location of future housing. Part of that is infill housing. And we can see some stuff happening already when we just look at tapestry data. Look at all the purple areas right there. This is where people, and you coming in, and I urge you to look at those areas later on in the other maps. You will see them again. So why perform an infill analysis? The honest answer is, I got an email from my boss. It is October, I'm going to work. I think, okay, this is how my day will look like. And I look at my email, and everything changes. My boss sends the email, said, I want the vacant land for today, and I want a quick capacity analysis. I'm like, ooh. Vacant land that is still 2 days out. Our intern is working on it. It's not happening right now. So what else can I do? And then I was thinking, okay, way back when in 2005, we also had a project in Dallas, and we had vacant land for that project. So let me take a look at the vacant land, and let me take a look at today's parcel data and see what's happening. So I wrote him back and said, you know what, looking at all this sounds like an infill analysis. Let me see if it really comes out that way, if I can prove there has been infill in Dallas. And funny enough, later on it turns out they always had anecdotal evidence of it, but they never had the proof. And that would have been, in that case, the correct answer. But why do cities even look? They look inward for growth. They want to know what's happening. People nowadays, they want to live in walkable neighborhoods. In Portland, there was a few years back the big talk about 20-minute neighborhoods where you can walk anywhere you want to go. You can walk to the grocery store. People nowadays, they want to have grocery stores in their downtown areas. Bike share is happening everywhere. Chattanooga, Tennessee has a bike share. New York has a bike share. Portland, Oregon doesn't. But that's okay. So what does an infill analysis tell us? It gives us an accurate picture of development capacity. It's really part of it. We need to know what has happened in the past to plan for the future. Usually, you do that with permit data, and you also can see this is Dallas. There's stuff happening everywhere. Mostly up here, permits were pulled out in 2013. And that would be the ideal picture. Every year, I go look at my vacant land, and I look at my permit data, what has been constructed. I didn't have that data there, so I had to do a different way. And here we go. So what I did, you see a little bit up there is the whole analysis, what I did. So I took the vacant land analysis that we did back in 2005 for Forward Dallas, which, by the way, also is a comprehensive plan. And I started out with about 42,000 acres. And you can see here that the green ones are the vacant acres. Not too much happening in the north, a lot happening, little things in the midsection, and really big, huge lots down there in the south. So I was really curious, looking at my monitor, what's going on right there? What is happening? This looks like parcels. So I took a closer look. I had ArcMap on the one side, on the one monitor. I had Google Street View on the other monitor, and I went in. So everything that is green is vacant land. And then I looked at in Street View at different areas where I see a rooftop, and looked, is this really a new house? Does this look like a new construction? And sure enough, I saw, yes, it is. And hey, that email I sent to my boss that I might be able to prove infill is happening in Dallas, I can. So I went ahead. And what do I need to do? I compare it now to my 2013 parcel set. So I did a very simple select by location for the 2013 parcel set on 2005 vacant land. And I did this via Centroid. So I put in my file, in my 2013 file, this was vacant in 2005. And amazingly, I only lost like 500 acres. We all know parcel boundaries change throughout the years. So that is just about 1% of the vacant land I lost, and you can see again, it looks pretty similar to what you saw in the previous map. Not too much happening or not too much vacant land up in the north midsection. It's still a little bit, and then there's a lot of vacant land in the south. So what is next? I need to identify recent construction. I know what was vacant back then. What do I do now? I look at my parcel data and see what fields, what attributes are available to me. And in the ideal case, there would be a year built. And then I could just say, okay, anything that has happened since 2005, from 2005 to 2013 is all infill, because before it was vacant, hopefully. Not always true, but probably in Dallas it is. But I did not have the year available to me. That was not part of the initial data set. So I'm looking at improvement value. And you see I did a nice choropleth map. There's a lot of improvement value. And improvement value, if you don't know what it means, it's the value of the structure that is on that side. So there's still a lot that is 0. So that means there is no building whatsoever right there. And then I was thinking, okay, where should I cut it off? And usually we go with 25,000 and below, we still assume to be vacant. 30,000, you probably already can buy a manufactured home. And when I select everything, you see there's a huge amount of land that's disappearing. That is still in the 25 and below acres. And actually, it's turning out that since 2005, based on my selection I did, I have about 10,000 acres that have developed. And I'm still looking on my second monitor, see what's going on. And there's some big swaths down there in the south. And I'm wondering what's going on, why are they? So I take my identify tool and look at the land use. And sure enough, this is agricultural land. And at Fregonese Associates, we assume agricultural land to be vacant and available for development. And because we did the 2005 vacant land coverage, I know that was part of the deal back then too. But we also know farms can have high values. So I'm looking at the resident, I look at the land use and I remove it, and I'm removing about 900 acres. So at the end, I'm finally there. I want to look at the residential land. I want to know what's going on in housing, what's happening. I'm looking at my residential land, and sure enough, about a third of the newly developed land is residential. And I'm like, oh, wow, that is great. But we still see there are big, huge areas down there which could be suburbs. So I'm thinking, okay, what is probably not a suburb? So I'm deciding everything underneath an acre is probably not a suburb development. And sure enough, I'm selecting that. About now, I'm at 2,000 something acres that has developed within for lots that are smaller than 1 acre. And I'm ending up with 12,000 new lots that have developed that are below that 1 acre threshold. And when I look at the statistic tool, I was even more amazed because the average square footage is 7,500 square feet, which is a pretty nice urban lot size for Dallas, Texas. And I'm writing back to my boss and sending him a PowerPoint, and I'm sending him data, and that all happened within 2 hours. So in conclusion, we as GIS professionals, we are often asked to do the impossible. We have limited time frames, we have large demands, and we have limited resources and data, but guys, we still do it.
Julia, thank you.